Hello, everyone. God bless you all. I'm so glad to see you here. Thank you for the thumbs up. Thank you, everybody. I just love seeing you guys. So, I'm going to say hello to everybody. Hello, Adrian and Judy, Via Dolorosa, Sally and Lynn, and Dan and Debbie. Well, God bless you all. So, let's go ahead and start getting into it because we have a few things to talk about. This won't be a very, very long video, but I think you'll get something out of it. If you haven't already watched the video the live I did just a couple of days ago, this kind of adds on to it, okay? Hello, Vicky. All right. Okay. Now, we're going to start off talking about the eclipses, the big ones, okay? We had the Great American Eclipse in 2017. And this is the end of it. This is the completion of it because we're having the X marks the spot completing eclipse just over the United States. Well, not just in Mexico too, but it makes the X marks the spot to finish. And right not long ago, we had the Ring of Fire eclipse and the Israel-Hamas Psalm 83 war started, right? And all of that's important because it actually made up two different letters of the Hebrew alphabet, and those alphabets have meanings. And boy, the way these meanings are, when I looked them up, it's like it's right in your face. It literally is writing on the wall. Okay, so the X is Tav. That's the last letter in their alphabet. It's X. But when the Ring of Fire eclipse came through, it took that X and made it an A, right? That's the first letter. So yeah, it has a beginning and end, but check this out, check this out. All right. The Aleph, that's in the shape of an A, strong power and leader. America has been a strong power and a world leader. It's part of that that's over America. And it also mentions that it has something to do with oneness with God. And I don't think America's got a oneness with God in its whole, you know. I think it does in its remnant. But as a whole, I think America, its oneness with God is in question. But that's the A, the Aleph, first letter. The Tav, of course, it's crossed sticks, like a cross, or an X. And it means it's a mark, it's a sign, it's a monument. Like, you need to notice this. That's what that letter means. Can you believe it? And so it's not just a beginning and end, which is big because it's saying to America, your your end is coming, beginning and end, right? And often the end can be seen in the beginning. And we know that George Washington had some vision about that. But anywho, beginning and the end is over America. There's literally writing on the wall. Okay? Not a good sign. No, 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 no. But next, I wanted to talk to you about this video that I'd seen that I don't just go talking about certain videos very often. But this one is about the crimson worm, Jesus and the crimson worm. But it's called Crimson Worm. Okay, and the link for that is in the description box as we speak. But it's Psalm 22, and Jesus was talking on the cross, talking to Father, and he was saying that he was but a worm, a reproach of men and despised. And the video tells us that the worm he was talking about was the crimson worm that they use to make red dyes for like your clothes and things like that. Now, but the dye is made when you kill the worm. And they put the worm in boiling water, and you'll see the water start turning red. That's what you do with the worm. But the point is that you have to kill the worm for the red color, like the blood. And that's what he's saying he became. Now, the the video explained this as just the tip of the iceberg, but it's also the gist of it. I mean, there are so many more prophetic things that they go into, and the way that it belongs together, so much more than I'm telling you, and I really think you'd like it. So, by all means, when we're done here, feel free to click on that video link. Um, Now, I wanted to go over a few articles that have come up recently that I handpicked, and usually I'm hoping y'all can see why I picked them. But they're always just so amazing. Like, so what is going on here? Kind of news articles. Hello, Nancy. Sherry's Kitchen. Glad you can make it. Daryl Calhoun. Tracy Littman. Love you so much, Tracy. All right. I think I've said hello to everybody so far. Diana, Vicky. Don't want to miss anybody. Love you guys. Oh, thank you so much, Sally. God bless you. I thank you guys for your continued support, especially right now. I just everything helps, everything. And I just love you guys so, so, so much from the bottom of my heart. Dan says demon agenda is picking up speed. Something's going to happen soon. And a lot of people are getting that feeling, Dan. That is absolutely like we just know something's coming. Elective, the End Times channel. God bless you and welcome, sweetie. It just really makes you appreciate all the good that's still here in your life. You know, every chance to laugh, every chance to, sit down with your neighbors and chill. One of my neighbors, he came by. He likes to fish and hunt. He came by with some fish and some potatoes. Shoot, I'm grabbing the ketchup, the napkin, salt, pepper, the lime. I'm bringing out. We we put our stuff together, but that's good. That's good stuff, and I think that we should we should have those moments while we still can, and appreciate them as much as possible. All right, going back now. Um, Yes, the news article. Sorry, didn't mean to get too crazy off on a tangent there. All right, the first article of four articles. The first one is titled "Asteroid Alert System in Place to Send Widespread Notification of Imminent Impact," confirms NASA. Now, I never thought I'd see something like this because I just don't believe they're going to ever tell us most of the time. But here we go. Asteroid alert system in place to send widespread notification of imminent impact, confirms NASA. That means they at least expect it and expect it to be problem enough to need an alert system. Because they wouldn't do this. They just felt like one once in a while would get in here that's not really anybody going to notice. You get an asteroid alert system because there's going to be a problem. What's that movie? Greenland or something with Gerard Butler and these space rocks coming in. They're trying to get to a base. Anywho, the article says NASA has explained how they would alert the global population if a dangerous asteroid was hurtling towards Earth. It comes as the agency's Planetary Defense Coordination Office has been tasked with identifying an incoming threat decades in advance. Decades in advance, huh? Last month, the agency said Earth was in the clear from the projected 1 in 10 million chance of a collision on March 3rd. If a doomsday impact was imminent, a global coalition of astronomers called the International Asteroid Warning Network would be warned. If they agreed with the threat, the situation would be escalated. Lead program executive for the Planetary Defense Coordination Office, Lindley Johnson, said, "We definitely want to find all those before they find us." He added, I don't have a red phone on my desk or anything, but we do have formal procedures by which notification of a serious impact would be provided. If the space rock was expected to have an international impact, the United Nations Office of Outer Space Affairs would get involved. Can you imagine having a job? Well, what do you do? Well, I work for the United Nations Office of Outer Space Affairs. It's like, what? Oh, okay, great, all right. That's a long name. That's not even what position you are. But yeah, that's a real article there. All right, now this title is More Unzipping of the Landscape. Arctic permafrost could crumble into rivers, unleashing devastating feedback loop. Arctic permafrost could crumble into rivers, unleashing devastating feedback loop. More unzipping of the landscape. Permafrost isn't just a feature of Arctic landscapes, it actually shapes those landscapes by directing the flow of water. And as global temperatures increase, this permanently frozen ground could give way to create new rivers and expand existing ones, which would release huge quantities of carbon into the atmosphere, potentially resulting in a devastating feedback loop, scientists have said. In a new study published February 1st, scientists investigated what role permafrost plays in Arctic watersheds, the area of land that channels water such as rain and snowmelt into creeks, streams, and rivers, and eventually out into reservoirs and oceans. So they consider that's going to be a big problem. Another article, the Atlantic Ocean could soon be closed off by a ring of furious volcanoes. Closed off by a ring, okay, of furious volcanoes. Did they say soon? Yeah, soon. Could soon be closed off by a ring of furious, is the word they decided to use, volcanoes. Now, they start off talking about the ring of fire and how it's got this whole subduction thing going on, and it makes it a planet's greatest hotbed of violent seismic events. But somehow they eventually work their way to the Atlantic. And yet, this extraordinary area may be faced with some competition in the dramatic tectonic state, with experts warning that the Atlantic could eventually begin to close and form a ring of fire of its own. For an ocean such as the Atlantic to stop growing and shut itself off, new subduction zones must form within it. Areas where one tectonic plate pushes another down into the mantle below. Hmm. The heat from the mantle then melts this rock, transforming it into magma, and the abundance of magma near to the Earth's surface creates the perfect conditions for volcanic activity. Now, that would mean we have basically two rings of fire west and east coast of the United States on either side. Now, that would tell me a lot. That would tell me the Atlantic's changing, and if the Atlantic is changing, then you betcha things are wrong in the Gulf of Mexico. Telling you, telling you. But that's that article. There's always more to it, but I don't like reading the whole thing. Now, this one was weird. This one was just weird. The island absent from maps that explorers claim appears and then vanishes. And it's in the Canary Islands area, is what I'm thinking this is trying to say. Yep, Canary Islands area. Everyone knows at least someone who has been on holiday to a Canary Island, whether it be a stag do in Tenerife, a family holiday in Lanzarote, or a romantic getaway to La Palma. These volcanic islands have been popular destinations for decades thanks to their all year round sun soaked climate. Hmm. Doesn't want to tell me. Well, I'll tell you what, they must have a little bit short because, to be honest with you, that sounds like one of those Mandela interdimensional things, like a bridge has been crossed. interdimensionally for something to be there and not be there at the same time. Now, hello, Sunshine. So glad to see you again, Will and Watchman. You and today, the special counsel was talking about nuking. I've been hearing about that. Hello, Joseph. Someone said there that one is out there now spewing nickel and other metals. Hello, Mr. Woods. It's good to see all of you. Good to see you, Sally. God bless you too. All right. Hearing April, even Venezuela warning April. Yeah, that's what these signs have been telling me is we're looking for natural disaster, economic problems, and invasion, war. I don't know how soon or far out that would be, but I feel like the events that lead to it are at our door. That's and I think y'all can see it too. Like you feel it, you see it. It's not like you're like when we were looking at the blood moons before, a lot of people didn't they knew that it was a sign, but they didn't know exactly what it meant. It's different with this set. We get it. It's the writing on the wall. So, when I'm talking about a crimson worm and Jesus' sacrifice and how serious and how much love that takes. Remember when you're feeling aggressive that, and we want mercy for ourselves on Judgment Day. So remember to be merciful. Keep upping your game in these last days. Like that's not through your works, but like I want to make sure that I'm getting as close to God as I possibly can, and I'm trying to show Him in every way possible that I want Him in my life. I love Him. And I'm peacocking over here. Look at me, I love you. You know what I'm saying? But the way you treat others matters. But so that crimson thing, that crimson worm, that's wow, such a powerful testimony. But my daughter also brought this home from work. It's a card. Now she's the server. So Christians will leave certain things, and this she paid her bill and everything, but this looks like a little receipt, doesn't it? It says Jesus paid it all. Those bricks, you don't have to carry them. Sin, shame, regret, lies, deceit, immorality, unbelief, and doubt, pride, envy, anger, and hate. Total due, 0, paid in full on the cross. And we have a cross over our nation saying, yeah, X marks the spot, but at the same time, whatever judgment may come, Jesus paid that in full if we would just turn to Him. And I know a lot of y'all, I'm preaching to the choir. I know this. But maybe this will help somebody later on. Hello, September Brooke. Kentucky, Clarissa. Yep, the eclipse is a sign from God. And it's just so easy to see what it means this time. Oh, God, I've been praying for you, Paul. I was hoping that your head would be feeling better by now. God bless you. Anybody, just please pray for Brother Paul for his headaches. I know how that is. It's horrible. Tracy says, I heard the eclipse is going to pass over 7 places named Nineveh, and 7 planets are going to line that same day. Ooh, I did not hear that. That's cool. Thank you for that, Tracy. Hello, Chris Bevan. God bless you. Biden went to United Nations to ask them to disarm Israel. Check that. We heard that was coming, didn't we? And it's starting to come out in like these news articles. It's just styled, and they're always talking about the 2-state solution, if it's a delusion or it needs to be done, and it's always like another history lesson, same points brought back up. But now the theme is starting to change a little bit, and it's like titles like they feel like they can't believe that it could come back like a phoenix rising from the ashes, but they but they see that the two-state solution is like being resurrected kind of thing from the ashes. So again, the signs and the way I see it, they're matching up with what's going on in the news, the intentions of the leaders with Israel. The timing can't be a coincidence. It just can't be. I mean, look at all this. I mean, you have to be a pretty, what's it called, pessimistic, negative, critical kind of person to just not see it. And it's just spelled, it's literally spelled out in letters for us. Sun and moon was set for signs and seasons. Yes. And as well as prophetic seasons, signs of what is to come we're living in. Yes, yes, yes. So, with the writing being on the wall, it is time to make peace with God. And remember, you can. He's paid whatever it is, but you you have to, when you become a believer, and even when you've been one, you may not realize you haven't made peace with God. There are people, they may not be Christians, but they have no idea that they're carrying around demons in them. And the last couple of years, I've been seeing manifestations coming up more. And I'd never had, I don't think, well, I mean, I'd seen it once 12 years ago. But I mean, yeah, and I've seen it before a few times in my life. But I mean, it was so spaced out, like years and years. But to have at least two in the last 2 years, that's pretty, that's more. That's a lot more. Just remember, it doesn't matter what somebody else's choice is, okay? And people say, well, I prayed and God didn't answer my prayer, or my grandma still died, or something. Well, we're all appointed to die at some point. You don't really get the final say in that. And when we pray, it's a request. We're not his boss. You know, he's not Burger King. It's not always how you want it. He knows what's best. He knows what's best. Thank you, and God bless you, Eric Hatchett. Praise God. Thank you so, so, so much. Oh, love it. I love it. I love you guys. Hello, Marie H. Pray without ceasing. That is correct. So, and it's harder, the being separated from the wheat and tares, because the tares grew up with us in our own families. It's not people you don't know necessarily. It's people you know. And there's a lot of worried mothers and children out there for their parents, worried. And at some point, you have to set it in your mind that they make their minds up. You have to have yours made up. This is an eternal commitment that God is above all things in your life. So when you see those moments where you might have the right zinger to say, but you weigh that against what Father, his attitude would be towards that. Would you feel pride, happy about the way you'd acted if when he calls on you about that someday? I mean, they no, no, and you put what he wants above, and you don't do those things. Those are decisions we can make every day. Oh, thank you. God bless you, Tracy Littman. Hello, Lynn. We love you so much, girl. Yep, you'll be up against your own family. Yes, we are being separated. We make those decisions every day to because everything that we've ever said, done, and thought is we're gonna be judged for. Everything has to be accounted for. And so a lot of times I'll be like, do I want to have to see this again? Whatever it is I'm thinking. And if the answer is no, then I'm just like, I love you, Father, and I just figure out a better way. What is something that I can be calm about reviewing with him later on down the road? All right. I don't want y'all to forget about that video link in the description box. I know that you'll be blessed for it. I want to thank all of you for coming, and you too, Uncle Louie, The Millwright by Alan Sedin. Oh, thank you so much. This was my daughter's jewelry from her quinceañera. She gave it to me, so I wear it thinking of her. All right, everybody. I love you. God bless you. This is going to conclude tonight's video, but since I'm not driving all the time, guess what? Y'all are stuck with me a lot more often. Love you. Talk to you soon. Bye.